Hello aspirants, welcome back to Simply Current Affairs. This is Mohanapriya. As a part of the ongoing Headless series, today we will be discussing a very interesting topic in geography which is called as the Western Disturbances. So this is a term you might have heard in news very frequently, especially during the time of February and March. So it's a very important geographical phenomenon with regard to India and also for the point of view of exam. So let us get into the discussion. Before understanding the concept of Western disturbance, it is important to understand another concept called jet streams because the jet streams play a crucial role in this phenomenon. So we'll understand what jet streams are and what are the characteristics of jet streams before discussing about the phenomenon of Western disturbance. So now coming to jet streams. What are jet streams? Jet streams are relatively narrow bands of strong wind in the upper levels of atmosphere. This is the simplest definition of jet stream. So there is a strong band of wind which is moving where in the upper troposphere region in a specific direction with a certain speed. So this strong band of wind is what we call as jet streams. Okay, so now let us try to understand what are the characteristics of jet streams. So as we've discussed, the jet streams occur in the upper troposphere. Okay, so in the upper levels of atmosphere, so it is restricted to the troposphere region. It occurs in the upper troposphere and it is usually found between 9 to 11 kilometers from the ground surface. Okay, and the direction of the jet streams is primarily from west to east. It moves just like the rotation of the earth. Okay, so the earth also rotates from west to east and the direction of the jet streams are also primarily from west to east. Okay, and now one important aspect about these jet streams are they don't move in like a straight band of air. They have a meandering nature. So they are wavy in nature. So as you can see in this diagram also, yes, they move in the form of meanders. So they are wavy in nature and they make a complete circle around the globe. So it is not that it exists only for a certain stretch. No, the characteristic of jet stream is that it makes a complete circle around the globe. And very important, yes, jet streams are found in both the hemispheres. This was once a UPSC prelims question. The statement was jet streams are found only in the northern hemisphere. The statement is wrong. Jet streams are found both in the northern hemisphere as well as the southern hemisphere. So the speed, look at the speed of the jet streams. It can range between 250 to 400 km per hour and sometimes it can exceed this value also, right? And very important point with regard to jet streams is that the region over which the jet stream occurs, it's not a fixed region. This jet streams can shift northwards or southwards depending on seasons. So it is this point which we are going to understand a little more in detail to understand the topic of Western disturbance. So hope you've understood and visualized what jet streams are. So it is like a river of wind. Okay, instead of moving over the ground, it is moving in the upper troposphere level. Is that clear? Now, let us understand this seasonal shifting of these jet streams. Okay, so jet streams primarily originate in regions where there are temperature contrast, where air masses of different temperatures when they are going to meet, those will be the ideal regions for the origin of jet streams. So that is why you have jet streams primarily in near to the subpolar region and the subtropical region. So in the subtropical region again you have the warm air mass from the equator and the colder air mass from the subpolar region converging. So that will create a pressure gradient and the winds will move from the high pressure to the low pressure in the west to east direction. So we'll have the subtropical westerly jet stream and near to the polar region also there is warm winds from the subtropical region and there are cold winds from the polar regions which converge and that will again lead to the formation of jet stream. So it is the temperature contrast which creates pressure differences and that is considered to be the cause of jet streams. Okay, so primarily there are many jet streams but the most common and the most dominant jet streams in terms of creating weather impacts and climatic differences is this polar westerly jet stream and subtropical westerly jet stream. Okay, and one more point with regard to this jet stream is that we have seen that the jet stream moves from west to east, and it is also moving at a speed, a certain speed, right, 250 to 400 kilometer per hour. So if there is going to be an airplane which is going to travel along the strip of this jet stream, then they are going to move with a higher speed. So that is why it is said that when an airplane is going to move from east to west, the time taken will be more compared to the time it will take for it to move from west to east. It's because of these jet streams. Okay. Now let us come to the topic of the shifting of jet streams according to seasons. See, the jet streams, the path of the jet stream, so the region over which it occurs is not fixed. Okay, it can move northwards or southwards depending on seasons. So let us take the northern hemisphere. So generally in the northern hemisphere, when it is going to be, say, summer. So when it is summer in the northern hemisphere, you will have the dominance of warm winds more. Okay, and the colder winds from the polar region are restricted to a very narrow region, and therefore you can see that the jet streams are more towards the poles. Okay, and as the months shift, okay, so this, let us assume this was the state during the month of May and June. So we are discussing only with regard to northern hemisphere. Okay, so for easier understanding. So now as the sun starts shifting downwards, say during the month of, say, September, when the sun slowly comes back to the position of equator, the region of the subtropical region, that is the warm belt region, will slowly become lesser effect, and the colder region is going to dominate. The colder winds are going to dominate. So in that case, it will start pushing the jet streams slowly downwards, and by the month of December, when it is going to become winter in the northern hemisphere, it will be the other way around, right? So the impact of the winds from the polar region are going to be more, and therefore the effect of the warmer winds is going to be less, and you can see that the jet streams can extend to a very long distance. The effect or the meandering effect of the jet streams can extend to regions near to the tropics also. So here, that is why during these months of, say, December, January, February and March, you can see that this is going to be the level up to which the meandering effect of the jet streams can extend, and in near to the Indian region, it extends closer to the Mediterranean region and extends even up to the Indian subcontinent, near to even the closer to our till Gujarat and Rajasthan. Till that level, the effect of jet streams can extent. Okay, and then as the sun again starts shifting northwards, by the month of March, April, it will again go back to its position. So the jet streams can shift northwards and southwards depending on seasons, and that is what plays a very crucial role with regard to western disturbance in India. So now let us try to understand what are western disturbances. So first let us discuss the definition, and then I will explain that concept in detail. So western disturbances are rain-bearing wind systems originating beyond Afghanistan and Iran that pick up moisture from the Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea, Caspian Sea and the Arabian Sea as they move eastwards towards India. Now let us decode this word western disturbance. So here, splitting into two, it says western. So it means there is a phenomenon which is originating from the west, and it comes primarily from the Mediterranean region. Okay, and what brings this phenomenon from the west? It is the westerly jet stream. Okay, it's a westerly jet stream which brings this phenomenon from west. Now, what is this disturbance? So, there is this term disturbance. This disturbance refers to the extratropical cyclones which originate again over the Mediterranean region, and the clouds, the rain-bearing clouds, the moisture-laden clouds of this extratropical cyclones is what is carried from the west, and it is creating a disturbance in the region of India in terms of providing rainfall, etc. So that is what we call as western disturbance. Now, what are these extratropical cyclones? So the cyclones which originate beyond the tropics is what we call as extratropical cyclones. So during the month of December, okay, during the months between December to February, it is winter in the northern hemisphere, right? So when it is winter in the northern hemisphere, you can see that along the Mediterranean region, there is this formation of fronts that is called as frontogenesis. That is, fronts form when warm air mass is going to meet the cold air mass. So this is the necessary condition. Two air masses of contrasting temperature should meet, and that will result in the formation of front, and front formation is like the base for the formation of an extratropical cyclone. So during the winter, so you have the warm winds from the subtropical region and the cold winds from the polar regions will meet, and they can create cyclonic activities along the Mediterranean region. Okay, and this cyclonic activities will create rain bearing clouds in that region, and we know that, look at this, I'll explain this with a diagram. So during the winter, if you can see the jet streams, the effect of the jet streams, okay, the meandering nature is like this. Okay, it can literally extend southwards during winter. So that's a seasonal shifting of jet stream. So during this time, what is going to happen? There are cyclonic activities in this region, and there is going to be rain bearing clouds. So there is going to be thick moisture laden clouds in this region. So this jet streams, as we know, moves from west to east. As it moves from west to east, it is going to carry these clouds, and where is it bringing? It is bringing it to India. And India, what do we have? We have the great climatic divide of Himalayas. So these Himalayas are going to block these rain bearing winds, and it is going to cause rainfall across the northwestern parts of India. Sometimes the effect of this western disturbance can extend till the northeastern parts also. Is that clear? Have you understood? So the jet streams during the months of winter in the northern hemisphere, they extend up to the Mediterranean region and even up to India. Okay, the bands of the jet stream. So as these bands of wind move from west to east, they carry the rain bearing clouds which are originated due to the extratropical cyclones which occur over the Mediterranean Sea, and they bring it. And as they bring, what they will do is, since these are low pressure systems, they will attract the moisture from the regions of Caspian Sea, from the Black Sea region. All the moisture is absorbed and it is come and shedding along the northwestern parts of India, where we have this climate divide as Himalayas. No? So they will make the moisture laden winds or the moisture laden clouds rise up further, and it is going to cause rainfall. So the rainfall, the precipitation is going to occur in the form of rainfall along the northwestern parts of Punjab, Haryana, UP, Bihar, and this regions of even Rajasthan and Gujarat. Okay, if the jet stream is going to extend downwards further, and in the higher altitude regions of Himalayas, precipitation is going to occur in the form of snowfall. Okay, so this is the concept of western disturbance. So here, if you can see this image, you can see that the rain bearing clouds which are originated due to the extratropical cyclones in the Mediterranean region, after gathering enough moisture from the Black Sea, the Caspian Sea, etc., it comes towards the Indian region, and here it sheds the rainfall, sheds precipitation in different forms. Now, let us come back to the definition here. So we have discussed that. Now you will understand this definition better. So they are rain-bearing wind systems originating beyond Afghanistan and Iran, that is from the Mediterranean region, picking up moisture from Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea, Caspian Sea, Arabian Sea, and as they move eastwards toward India. So here they are going to trigger, the precipitation is going to be either in the form of rain or snowfall in the higher altitude regions of northwest, north, and sometimes even the northeast and the eastern parts of India during the non-monsoon months. That is, this particular phenomenon occurs during the months of December to February, or sometimes it can extend even up to March. Now, what is the role of this western disturbance with regard to India? It plays a very crucial role in the cultivation of rabi crops. Okay, the rabi crops primarily depend on this winter rainfall. So the cultivation of rabi crops depends on this, and also this western disturbance is very, very important for replenishing the glaciers. Yes, there is snowfall in the high altitude region, so replenishing of glaciers happen because the glaciers are the source of our major river systems. Okay, so this is the concept of western disturbance and the impact it has over the Indian region. Hope this concept is very clear. So we will soon meet in another interesting video. Thank you.